Are you ready for the quantum age?
Humanity's next step in evolution?
Dream Vision 7 Radio Network invites you to the extraordinary platform of evolutionary voices for the quantum age.
Let's explore. Learn more about this upcoming age where we bridge science with spirituality.
Where potentiality meets reality.
Where we take compassion into action.
Our trailblazers and visionaries will ask the whys, the what-ifs, while igniting continuous possibility.
Come along with us into an age beyond what we know today, where we can grow together in unity consciousness.
Experience evolutionary voices for the quantum age, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern on DreamVision7Radio.com.
Welcome to Radical Transformational Leadership with Dr. Monica Sharma, heard every other Tuesday at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and every Saturday, 6 a.m. Eastern. This is a Dream Vision 7 Radio Network production on the Evolutionary Voices for the Quantum Age platform. To learn more, go to DreamVision7Radio.com. The survival and future of humanity and civilization depends on the framework Monica Sharma outlines in Radical Transformational Leadership. It is my sincere hope that anyone who wants to participate in healing our wounded planet will read this book and follow its principles. Anyone who doubts that the change is needed to lift our world beyond the chaos of today's deep problems and political chest thumping need look no further than this book. The new field she describes as radical systems and cultural transformation constitutes a kind of invisible renaissance emerging around the world of understanding the entwined inner and outer nature of genuine systemic change. I invite you into this most powerful show with Dr. Monica Sharma.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for introducing this work and emphasizing its importance to address the challenges of today. And thank you, too, for your introduction of me. It's always inspiring. Well, listeners, today we have another guest speaker. Her name is Adya Siddarth, and she's a young engineer making a huge difference. What's the difference that we're going to talk about today? Young professionals engaging with technology in a manner that technology creates social transformation. Because for me, technology in essence is value neutral. And when professionals are deeply rooted in the universal values that they care about, then they are able to design differently. They are able to source their inner capacities in a manner that we transform unworkable systems and unworkable norms. And many of us, as we do so, we ourselves grow, but we also learn to build the capacity of others. We learn to utilize that capacity in our everyday work. We look for people who are aching to make a difference. We notice when they have questions, the right questions, because this work is not about answers. This work is about having the right questions. Surely, if we want to make change, we must question all answers. But where do we question that from? Do we question it from doubt? Do we question it because we want to oppose? Do we question it because we want to argue? No, in this work, as you will see when Adya speaks, this is about inquiry. Inquiry simply because we care. Inquiry because we are about equitable, just, fair processes that matter to everyone. Surely in a world of abundance, we are able to see that it's not about limited resources. It's about how we can use these resources differently. And we as human beings, when we touch our inner capacity, we are truly an asset for the transformation in this planet. So we've been working about who we are who we are deep down, what we care about, our ability to look at life differently when we stand in this beautiful space. And when we stand in this beautiful space, we are able to see patterns differently. We are able to see systems differently. We are able to see cultural norms differently. It's not that everything is wrong, but certain systems, certain cultural practices are likely to be obstacles on our path to creating a new, vibrant humanity, a prosperous, thriving planet. So for us, it's important for us to look at that space. So it's like prosperous people in a thriving planet. That's what I meant. So what does this look like? When I see this, I am not only sourcing my inner capacities, I'm using that to design differently. Because after all, a system will deliver according to its values. If the value of a system is profit, that's what it will deliver. If the value of a system is service, that's what it will deliver. If the value of a system and its norms and its rules of the game are about equity, then that's what it will deliver. So in order that we see that pattern, we need to activate our mind. We need to think, but we need to think with rigor, not with rigidity. We need to think beyond ideological stances. We need to be able to constantly generate worldviews based on our inner capacities, the universal values that you and I care about, that people all over the world care about. Deep down, we care about our own self-esteem, our sense of worth. And that's about dignity. We care about dignity. We care about fairness. And when we are open to ourselves and others, we are compassionate. So when we can locate ourselves in that spacious place, in that authentic space, and we look at what's there, the systems, the cultural norms, we will see that there are a lot of things that are working. The rules of the game make some things work, but there are a lot of things that are not working, and the rules of the game make sure that they don't work. So today, we will look at what does this mean to be able to look at these systems, these norms, based on our values, and generate new patterns, be the unifying architect. And when I say unifying architect, and we talked about this in another call, I mean our capacity to design, because we are all designers. We can design, and it is up to us in society to create the conditions that allow everyone to be an agent of their life, to be the architect of our lives. Surely in a world of plenty, that's possible, as long as we care and we think about it. Because such architects, people who design their projects, their activities at home, such people have a compassionate courage. And they act out of that compassionate courage because it requires courage. And by courage, I don't mean bravery. Because bravery is like I step up to the plate when there is a challenge. Nothing wrong with bravery. But just that we are using words to distinguish spaces. I use the word courage for such acts when we step up, but we don't step up just as a reaction. We step up from a profound wisdom, a wisdom that emanates from standing in universal values. And when we act from that space, I call it courage. So such a person who's designing for change, and you'll hear examples from Adya today as to how she works, how she's made a difference to her own design capacities, what she's been able to deliver, how she's worked with educational institutions, how she's creating coalitions and partnerships based on this, how she's worked at community level, but also at the level of policy, also at the level of being able to generate new ways of learning in educational institutions, professional educational institutions like architecture. So we know that this way of thinking sort of creates a demystified way of looking at the largest picture that holds our ability to change, our ability to change what's not working. So such a unifying architect, to begin with, has this compassionate courage to act, to design differently. And such a person is able to use these values to change the rules of the game. And so we call such a person a principled game changer. Means I am not attached. I am not attached to a set of rules simply because I've been working with them all my life, or simply because that's what I've been taught. I learn to inquire into the assumptions behind these rules. I learn to see beyond. And this is possible for everybody. And so these invisible patterns that we don't normally see, such a unifying architect makes an effort to see that. And it's not actually effort like a burden, but it's effort that's born out of commitment, the commitment to make a difference. So you'll see that too, the effort that's been made to look at the invisible patterns, because they are not easily visible. What we see are the consequences, the visible, measurable expressions of these patterns, these rules of the game, the norms, the systems. And too often, you and I, and most people in the world of design and planning, look at root factors of why is this happening? Why do we have poverty? Or why do we have ill health? Or why don't people access opportunities? And a very conventional way of looking at that space is we say, well, the root factors are poverty. The root factors of not having education is poverty. We make poverty the root factor. But poverty in a world of abundance is a system structural issue. It's an issue that's born out of the way we have structured the rules of the game. Poverty is not a root cause. Poverty is the effect of structural distortion in a world of abundance, of the rules of the game. So I think we need to work on that. We need to be able to see that the root factors really are our inability to access our greatness, our inability to transcend the fears of scarcity, born out of a mindset that looks at scarcity as if we need to hoard, as if someone else thrives, I don't. So that's what a unifying architect does, and that's what you hear a lot about. And then you'll hear about how we can design to make a difference, craft our policies, our projects, and use processes that are really for enduring and equitable change. And these processes are not difficult because when we practice them and when we know about it and we learn about it, we start using them all the time. We use them in our everyday life for ourselves, where we work, in our homes, the way we bring up our children, and we use it the way we deal with our families. We use it in society. But the unifying architect is a lifelong learner. The unifying architect is able to engage and is excited to engage in new learning, in being able to see the power of new processes that truly will be transformative. learning how to use transformative design